seriously went right between the two posts I'd already put here. So, okay, gotta grab another post and put it right between these two. They're reaching through trying to get the grass on the other side. That's why they're pushing this so much. All right, well, they're locked in for the night, so we will just, no, they're in for the night. We're going to lock them in. I know this fence line needs redone, but it's going to be an absolute pain in the butt. We have a ton of trees that we have to pull out. Have to pull out the entire fence line, and we'll probably have to lock the whole flock up for at least a week, maybe two, depending on how long it takes us to do this stretch. The way our world works, where I only have my husband's help on the weekends, it could take us a whole month to do it, because we have spots like this where when we used to irrigate this is a big old washout that we need to fill in with dirt. So it's not just as simple as I need to cross. It is so, this is the weirdest dang January. I honestly don't remember a January this warm since my daughter was born, and that's be almost 23 years ago. The year she was born, the day she was born, it was like 50, almost 60 degrees, and my husband was outside calling my parents and his parents in a t-shirt. So it's not quite that warm today, but it is definitely a lot warmer than it has been this year. So anyway, it's going to take a lot more than just tearing down the fence and putting up a new one. We have a lot of work that needs to be done on this section. So it's, right now we're just putting Band-Aids on it until we get to that point where we are going to have an extensive amount of time to be able to tear stuff out, tear trees out, and be able to put in a solid fence line without there being dips and dives and it half falling off the edge and all the issues we have now. So let's at least go lock the sheep up and then go get a T-post and fix that hole. Good morning, guys. I am beyond frustrated. I spent, I don't know, 2-3 hours yesterday. Had to go to town in the morning, didn't get home till like 1 or 2. And then I spent from then until I had to feed at 4 because I had a meeting yesterday. And I spent the whole time reinforcing that fence. I fixed the one hole that I'd found on whatever day I found it, and then patched that hole, and then put T-posts in on about 3 other weak spots where there's like really long stretches of fencing, where I can tell it's loose enough on the bottom that they could go under. I thought I had it all, and there's 3 freaking sheep in the triangle that got into the creek. Come on, let's go. Come on. Come on. So I have no clue. I'm gonna have to walk that fence line again. Come on. And figure out where they're getting out at. It's just, it's frustrating because I cannot figure it out. Come on, let's go. If there was a sale this week, I'd ship all 3 of you. Come on. Just drives me nuts. Come on. It's the same ones. Always the same ones. And I know they didn't get out before I fixed it because I fixed it before I let the sheep out. I just don't know. And my biggest fear is that they're going to cross the creek and go into the neighbors. You know, right now they're at least staying here on my side, but I just need to figure it out and get it fixed. And like I said, until I can get, it's going to be a month-long project. We're just going to have to put it on the list for a month and fix this entire fence line. But it means pulling out a bunch of these trees because they've grown into the fence. It means tearing out all of this fence, which we know we have to do. I mean, there's a lot of it that's literally on the hillside and tipped over. So I'm just gonna have to keep pounding posts, I guess. Reinforcing it wherever I think there's a weak spot. I'm hoping they'll just head out with everybody else. Part of it was my own fault. They didn't get locked up last night because where they got let out so late, they weren't coming in before I had to go head for my meeting. So they never got locked up last night. Just kind of watching to make sure they don't dive into the creek somewhere. But I think they're heading out where everybody else is. And they don't go out, they don't like hit this fence line until they come in at night. So, I don't know. But I got a couple things I got to finish up at the house, and then I will be back down here to pound some more posts once the frost is off the ground. Okay, let's try this again. Now that the sun is finally out, the frost is off the windshield, the dog is annoying, and I think I've got the laundry done. All right, let's see if we can find anything obvious. That is where I fixed the hole from yesterday. And we'll just tool along here. See if we can find any see, I need to get some twine. Some of this fencing is coming down. Not that they're gonna go through that, but okay. I always worry around these trees because they like the olives that fall off of them. And then they get to pushing on the fencing. I know, it's pretty slick. But I don't think they're getting through any of that. There's no wool on that fencing. And unless they're jumping between those two, the split in that tree, they're not getting out by this tree. So I don't see anything. I might put a couple of T-posts along this section right here. There's nothing that shows they're going under this fence yet, but they might. This is where I put some new T-posts yesterday. I put them on the wrong side of the fence only because it's leaning so bad on for the other side. I couldn't get the T-posts on from the other direction. So again, this is where we're trying to fix things. But I don't see any spots here where there is wool on the bottom of the fence. I'm just not seeing anything obvious. Usually if there's something like super noticeable, I guess even if it isn't noticeable, Junie usually finds it because she can't not get into the creek. And she hasn't even tried going through any spots. So I don't know. I'll pound a couple posts in this section here where there's a big gap between T-posts, but it's really the only section that I think, unless they're jumping somewhere. I had one spot where the fence was kind of a little lower, but my sheep don't usually jump. They tend to go under fencing. So I guess I'll see what I can do and then hope for the best. That's all I can do, is just keep patching. I just ran up to the house to grab some lunch, and from the kitchen window I can see down to that triangle, and the sheep are all in the alley, which means they literally just came in. And since I don't trust them to save my life, I grabbed a yogurt instead of eating anything, and I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna watch, and we're gonna see if they're getting out, if pulling up the fence, watch the snowdrift, if pulling up the fence where I did and pounding those couple T-posts made any difference, or if they're getting out in a totally different spot that I don't know about. But if I'm sitting here watching them, maybe I can figure it out. Pretty sure those two right there, it looks like that is Bonner and Dory, who are two of the two. No, that's not Dory. Is that Dory? I can't tell from here. That are two of the two that are always out. So keep an eye on them to see if they're jumping a fence, if they're pushing a fence. See what they're doing. Unfortunately, from where I am, I can't quite see on the other side of the trees there. So I moved to a new spot just so I could see down here. And there's Dory and Fen and Bonner bringing up the rear. She just stopped. Now she's coming again. So those are my three that are always out. So I'm watching them very closely. Everybody has been kind of moving back and forth, but those three are my problem children. So I'm going to watch them to see where they are maneuvering themselves to. And if I can figure out where they're trying to get out at. But most everybody's just kind of camped. But they've gone back and forth several times. So I'm just kind of eyeballing them here. May need to move again depending on where they end up going. All right, my three girls just came back up from this pasture, which is where the second place I thought they might be getting into the creek. So, where are you three going? Finn is definitely on a mission. Not sure where she went, but I had one ewe somehow, some way slip over to the other. There she is. Just see her head right up there. But she managed to get to the other side, and I have no clue how. I've been sitting here watching them, and she managed to get to the other side, and I have no clue how. And she can't get back over, but it was somewhere in these trees, because she hasn't left this spot at all. Son of a biscuit. How did she get out? All right, June, we may need to push everybody out of here. Okay, so she came up out of the creek, and then I had a group that split off. June was supposed to push everybody out, and instead she split the group because she's dumb some days. And these guys came in instead of going out. But it's okay. Now I can get this ewe. Just chill out, sis. I'm coming. In with these guys and then send them all out. But how did she slip through the fence? Please don't run. I know. Stick here, sis. I'm coming. Just hold on. I'm coming. Let's not make this harder than it needs to be. I don't really want to run them because I do have a lot of pregnant ewes right now. For the life of me, I cannot figure out how she got through that fence. I'm gonna have to just look around that tree because she's not even one I was watching. I was watching those other three, and I have no clue. I just, she was there, and then she was on the other side of the fence. But did she get on the other side of the fence right by that tree? Did she wander over there from somewhere else? I have no idea because I wasn't watching her. Let's connect your brain so that you pay attention when I tell you to push, you push. Okay? Okay, so she got out somewhere around, I think, well, I spotted her around this tree. So, is there a spot here that they jumping this? That's a possibility. They could be jumping this. It's pretty low. She could have just jumped it. If that's the case, you know, over there we put up a panel, but we had a tree to connect it to. I guess I could connect it from the T-post to this tree. think all I have left are like 16 foot, and I think that's like a 12. Okay, I'm gonna bring the sheep in because I made them mad by pushing them all the way out here. So they didn't want to come in tonight. So we're going to go ahead and bring them in because I have Bible study in the morning and I won't be here to let them out. No, let me rephrase that. No, I'm not feeding bread. June, off. June, off. Push, push. Push, push, push. Where'd she go? June, push, push, push. Push, push. Come on, push, push, push. Junie, push, push, push. Why the hell are you running away? I swear that dog. Push, push, push. Push him in. You are so worthless. The other day you did so good, and today you're just worthless. Load up. At least you got him in the right direction. Anyway, yeah, so tomorrow I have Bible study. I won't be around to watch them, so I'm just going to keep them locked up all day. Even if I have to feed them, I've got Bible study and then a lunch thing and then an appointment, so it's going to be late before I get home. So if I have to feed them in the feedlot, so be it. I'd rather do that than get a phone call that says they're at the neighbor's for some odd reason. So let's just go push them in, lock them up for the night, and then we will deal with them again come Friday. I've put up panels, I have put up T-posts, I have patched it, I can't find where they're getting out. So maybe I fixed it, I don't know. But where that one you got through the fence, I still don't know where that is. So it's just another thing to add to the list.